6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Here is the news edited by Danushka Medawala and read by J. Yogaraj. First, the headlines. The Prime Minister instructs officials to pay more attention to provide houses to low and middle-income earning families in the country. Interprovincial travel restrictions are now in place. Essential duties staff who travel across the provincial boundaries should bring a letter from the respective head of the institution. The Ministry of Health has received special medical equipment to treat corona patients. International Nurses Day falls today. The President appointed a presidential task force to transform Sri Lanka's economy into green socio-economy with sustainable solutions to climate change. News overseas, dozens more bodies washed up on Ganga's river bank. And those are the headlines. Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa instructed the National Housing Development Authority to pay more attention to provide houses to low and middle-income earning families in the country. He gave these instructions at a meeting held with the officials of the National Housing Development Authority held at the Temple Trees yesterday. The police said that the persons who cross provincial boundaries during the period of a travel restriction will be prosecuted under the criminal law. Police media spokesman DIG Ajit Rohana mentioned this addressing a media briefing held in Colombo yesterday. He urged the public to restrict travel between the provinces from 12 midnight last night and to avoid unnecessary travel. The police informed the government and other staff officers who travel across the provincial boundaries to bring a letter from the respective head of the institute. If they are unable to provide such letter, they will not be allowed to cross the borders. Sri Lanka reported over 2,500 daily COVID-19 infections for the third day in a row yesterday. According to Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health, 2,568 new COVID-19 cases were reported yesterday. Among the new cases, 2,530 are from the New Year cluster and 38 are from foreign arrivals. According to the Epidemiology Unit, a report at 11:30 p.m., a total of 131,098 COVID-19 cases have been reported and 23,607 infected patients are being treated at hospitals, while 106,641 patients have fully recovered and have been discharged from hospitals. Sri Lanka reported 23 deaths due to COVID-19 Tuesday, raising the total to 850. According to the unit report, so far, total of 954,695 people have received the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine and 213,953 have received the second dose. This news comes to you from Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
People's Bank Isuru Udana gift certificates, a valuable gift for any child.
Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa has inquired into the health condition of former Maldivian President Mohamed Nasheed. He has given a telephone call to the father of Mr. Nasheed and wished for his speedy recovery. Mr. Nasheed is undergoing medical treatment at an intensive care unit of hospital in Maldives following a bomb attack on him on the 6th in front of his house. Mr. Nasheed was the Maldivian president when Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa was the president of Sri Lanka. The Ministry of Health has received special medical equipment to treat corona patients. Those will be handed over to the hospitals today during a ceremony headed by Minister Pavitra Vanniyarachi. The first stock of the equipment included high-flow oxygen therapy units and syringe pumps. The stock of equipment has been given by the Sri Lanka COVID Emergency Treatment and Health Pre-Prepared Project. Director of the project, Dr. Jayasundra Bandara, said that all essential equipment needed to treat COVID patients will be given to hospitals in due course. International Nurses Day falls today. The International Nurses Day is celebrated around the world every May 12th. the anniversary of the Florence Nightingale's birthday. ICN commemorates this important day each year with the production of and distribution of the International Nurses Day resources and evidence. The theme for the 2021 resource is Nurses, a Voice to Lead, a Vision for Future Healthcare. In 2021, we seek to show how nursing will look into the failure as well as how nursing will look into the future, as well how the profession will transform the next stage of healthcare. Issuing a statement on the International Nurses Day, Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa says that the government is always ready to help the nurses in the country. The Prime Minister praises the yeoman services done by the nurses round the clock during the period during the COVID-19 pandemic situation. And that's local news.
Your sister got him the most valuable gift of all.
My family will do anything for our child's future.
People's Bank Isuru Udana gift certificates, a valuable gift for any child.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddha Lepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddha Lepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has appointed a presidential task force to transform Sri Lanka's economy into a green socio-economy with sustainable solutions to climate change. The task force has been named as the Presidential Task Force on creating a green Sri Lanka with sustainable solutions to climate change. The task force, chaired by Basil Rajapaksa, the special representative of the President, consists of 46 members, including 5 cabinet ministers, a governor, 14 state ministers, and a female member of parliament. And that was main news.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddha Lepa.
In Watchlight, Sri Lanka Railways has decided to suspend interprovincial services effective from midnight last night. The decision comes after the government announced that the interprovincial travel restrictions would be imposed from last night in a bid to control the spread of coronavirus. In addition, interprovincial bus services provided by Sri Lanka Transport Board and private bus operators will also be suspended from last night. And that was Watchlight. And in world news, first the headlines. Dozens more bodies were washed up on Ganga's riverbank. Colorado gunman killed 6 at party as he was not invited. US motorists urged not to hoard fuel after pipeline attack. And those are the headlines. Dozens more bodies have washed up on the banks of the Gangas in northern India as the country struggles with the second COVID wave. More than 50 bodies have been discovered in Ganga, Uttar Pradesh over the past few days. On Monday, at least 40 bodies were pulled from the river some 34 miles downstream from Ganga. How the bodies got there is unclear, but it is thought that they are COVID-19 victims. Their identities are unknown. On Tuesday, a local journalist told BBC in India that the bodies have been washing up on embankments or in the village of Ganga for several days. Locals claimed that they had been complaining about the smell for the past few days. Colorado officials say the gunman who killed 6 people in a mass shooting at a birthday party at the weekend was upset that he was not invited. Police say Teodoro Macias, 28, fatally shot his girlfriend, Sandra Ibarra Ferres, 28, and 5 relatives before turning the gun on himself. The attack unfolded at the Canterbury Mobile Home Park in Colorado Springs early on Sunday. The party was for 3 relatives, 2 of whom died. U.S. motorists have been urged not to hoard fuel as a major fuel pipeline remained shut after a cyber attack. North Carolina, Virginia, and Florida have declared a state of emergency as petrol stations began running dry and prices rose. The average price for petrol stood at $2.98 per gallon yesterday, its highest since November 2014. The American Automobile Association said some motorists in the southeast were pictured stocking up on fuel. And that's world news. And in development news, the World Bank has launched public consultations to update its systematic country diagnostic in Sri Lanka. This online platform will enable the bank to engage with Sri Lankan public and development partners and seek their views on the most pressing development opportunities and challenges for the country. And that was development news.
Sports News is brought to you by...
When Aya bought a motorbike, he bought 2 helmets. So sweet of him. I'm sure the other one is for me.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Barcelona threw away a 2-0 lead and saw their La Liga hopes receive a major setback as they drew at Levante. Lionel Messi put the visitors ahead with a well-controlled low volley before they doubled their lead, when Pedri converted from Usmani across following the Messi's through ball. But Gonzalo headed one back and Jose Luis volleyed in for 2-2. Barcelona retook the lead with the Dembele's powerful shot, but Sergio Leon got a late equalizer for Levante. And that was sports news.
My wife always sets a full lunch table even if it's just the 2 of us. She always expects people to drop by, like maybe the army.
In whatever we do, we Sri Lankans are always thinking of others. When we get Munchie Super Cream Crackers, they're not just for ourselves. Munchie Super Cream Cracker. Super kiyanne nikan neve.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
Little more than 6 months after a Boeing 737 MAX was cleared to fly again by U.S. regulators, the aircraft finds itself under intense scrutiny once again. The discovery of the potential electrical problem last month led to a renewed grounding of more than 100 aeroplanes belonging to 24 airlines around the world. And that was Business News.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Stock markets across the world have slid amid worries that US inflation is set to rise. In the US, the Dow fell 474 points to lose 1.4% on Tuesday, its largest one-day drop since late February. European bourses also saw steep declines on fears among traders that rising consumer prices could push up interest rates. And that was economic news.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Met Department says showers or thunder showers at times will occur at Sabragamu and Western provinces and in Puttalam, Galle and Mathura districts. Showers or thunder showers will occur at several places in central, Uva and eastern provinces and in Kurunegala and Hambantota districts during the evening or night. Fairly heavy falls above 75 millimeters can be expected at some places in Sabragamu, central and Uva provinces.
Weather Report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
Before we conclude this news broadcast, let's look at the main points once again. The Prime Minister instructs officials to pay more attention to provide houses to low and middle-income earning families in the country. Interprovincial travel restrictions are now in place. Essential duty staff who travel across the provincial boundaries should bring a letter from respective head of the institution. The Ministry of Health has received a special medical equipment to treat corona patients. International Nurses Day falls today. The President appoints a presidential task force to transform Sri Lanka's economy into a green socio-economy with sustainable solution to climate change. And with that, we conclude this morning broadcast of Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.